And up next, we had, as I was referring to earlier, our new creative way of determining an Intercontinental Champion, the Beat the Clock Challenge. Now, unfortunately, there were only 3 matches in this Beat the Clock Challenge tonight, but still, I don't think any of them you could consider to be bad. So we start things off, our first Beat the Clock Challenge match, Big E versus Ryback.
Yeah, this is a good power matchup. First of all, let me say that I love the fact that they used the beat the clock concept to determine the number one contender for Barrett's Intercontinental Championship. It seems like they have been giving the Intercontinental Championship more shine compared to U.S. in terms of determining contenders, because we had a tournament to see who would face Big E, and now we've got to beat the clock to see who's going to face Barrett. So I really like that.
And another thing that I do like is that Big E was a part of the Beat the Clock. So if he really is the best of the non-Intercontinental Champion mid-carders, then he could have proven it again tonight by winning the Beat the Clock Challenge. But unfortunately, we would find out later that he wasn't, because even though he did win this match in 5 minutes and 2 seconds, he did not end up with the best time.
Yeah, he did not. And again, it was a solid match considering how brief it was, which you expect most beat the clock matches to be because of their nature. Ryback even got the meat hook at one point, and that's always a beast looking clothesline. And another note, because I'm glad Ashton picked up on it, when he was setting up for it, the crowd actually was chanting, "Feed me more." I think people really want Ryback, as you said, Ashton, to be a babyface. I am kind of hoping he turns either sometime this year or early next year at least.
It'd be nice for him to be babyface by the time the Rumble shows up.
Yeah, it would be excellent. Absolutely. But did not happen. Big E gets the win with the big ending, as you said, Ashton, at 5 minutes, 2 seconds. And the Beat the Clock series rolls on.
Absolutely. Man, I don't know. I really liked this match. It was quick. Big E at one point had like a weird, I don't want to call it a miscommunication or anything, but it seemed like he had planned on doing something that Ryback wouldn't let him do. And then he just kind of went off the ropes and slammed his body into Ryback's, like his body press or whatever you want to call it. And that kind of set up for the big ending. But I don't know. I think that Ryback should have won this match, if you want the truth. I love Big E, but I see more upside in Ryback.
Oh, yeah, you and I have seen a lot of upside in Ryback, well, really, since he first came into the WWE, even when everybody was kind of, crapping on him, and I still do, despite the fact that he's kind of, in a weird place right now. I mean, he's enjoying working with Curtis Axel, so that's the most important thing, but yeah, he can do so much more than what he's doing right now, which I could express for several other talents, but yeah, Big E gets the win here.
Alright, so up next we had R-Truth and the Funkadactyls. I don't know if it was supposed to be a mixed tag or just a one-on-one match between Truth and Fandango up against Fandango and Layla. But again, like I said, I don't know what the match was actually supposed to be because, it got interrupted. Didn't even really get a chance to start because while Fandango and Layla are in the ring and start making out, Summer Rae's music hits and she comes back, I guess. I didn't really know that she was out. I didn't know that she was like actually gone. I thought that they just were keeping her off TV because they didn't want her on TV and they wanted Fandango a new chance to get that chemistry going with his new valet, but apparently she was legitimately gone. I don't know if it was an injury or what, but hey, she's back now, so awesome.
Oh, no, don't you remember, dude? Because we've talked about this. I even made a convoluted storyline out of it. She was gone shooting the Marine 4 with The Miz.
Oh, that's right, because you thought that they were going to come back and the Miz was going to get a push.
Yeah. As far as this segment, I'm going to be honest. I really don't know how I feel about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad Summer's back because I think she's awesome. However, her reaction kind of leaves me a bit perplexed because I don't know if you do, but I've actually been every so often checking in on the Twitter accounts of both Summer Rae and Fandango to see how they interact with each other while she was away, and Layla kind of swooped in, and it seemed like, yeah, that she could have clawed both of their eyes out, pretty much saying, well, Layla, enjoy my sloppy seconds, and oh, yeah, you're really great with how you broke up with me and everything, and really just down-talking both of them. But she comes back, and rather than delivering a cold, hard slap that I think would be more than justified, she plants a big old smooch on Fandango there.
Yeah, if there's one thing that we need to realize about women, it's that if their man cheats on them, they immediately hate the other woman far more than they could ever hate their man.
Yeah, that just seems so backwards to me. She should have slapped Fandango, but maybe that'll come. I don't even know, because we know that Summer can be really like the prototypical mean girl on NXT. I mean, you and I have
Yeah,
seen
dude,
it.
but I think that she's a babyface right now.
See, and I think so too. I think she is the babyface, which is why I could see like Fandango, like she just keeps messing with him, and maybe he finally does want her back, and that's what she wanted. And then she's like, no, I got a new man, and not even saying that it's Miz, but pretty much saying, yeah, I won't take Fandango back. I just wanted Layla to see that you'll always care about me, but I'm so over you. And then she gets on with her life.
It would be kind
Um,
of hilarious if it was The Miz, though, because he's kind of married to Maurice, and then for him to be, snuggling up next to and making out with Summer Rae on TV, it would just be all kinds of uncomfortable hilarity.
Yeah, I mean, and then, and then knowing me, I would conjecture, well, that clearly means that Maurice is returning to television, is going to feud with Summer Rae. Just all that crazy stuff. But yeah, no, great to have Summer back. And I'll tell you what, I mean, while I am perplexed and don't even necessarily know for the moment if I agree with how Summer reacted upon her return, it definitely has me intrigued where this storyline goes in the future. So congratulations, guys. The hook is firmly in place.
Yeah, really, we need to go back and catch up on some Total Divas, man.
Absolutely, man.
All right, let's move on. Daniel Bryan's music hits, and I'll admit it got me because I was thinking, oh, he's pulling an Austin. He got his neck surgery, and now he's going to be in a non-physical television role as just like a talking head and somebody that can just kind of show up every week to remind everybody that he's still alive. But no, it was Stephanie McMahon, and she comes out jumping around doing the yes chant, and of course the fans immediately switch to no, 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 and Steph makes her way to the ring and talks about Bryan.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Stephanie's amazing. I mean, I think she's been the one to really pull this whole authority thing together since it started. She's been far more consistent than her husband, and I think this was some of her best work because she comes out to his music, she mocks the chant, the yes chant, and then she gets on the mic and she pretty much says, Bryan, wanted to give his all and do his best for you people, but he did have successful neck surgery, and that's why he's not here because he injured himself, and I'm contemplating stripping him of the championship and giving it to Kane. No, 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 or I can strip him of the championship and give it to Bad News Barrett. And then the crowd completely turns on Bryan, which I should have suspected, but it's nice to know where your allegiances lie, guys.
Dude,
Real
it's
nice.
like Bad News Barrett is to London as Ric Flair is to the Carolinas.
Yeah, really.
Like, no
Yeah.
matter how dastardly of a heel he is, if he shows up in that hometown, he's like Punk in Chicago. Like, he is the definition of somebody with a home field advantage. Like, it's hilarious, too, because Bryan is like the number one guy, but as soon as Stephanie mentions Bad News Barrett, people are like, ha! Screw that Bryan guy. We want Barrett to have the title.
Yeah, right. And she even says, like, I knew you guys would go for that. You're so predictable.
Yeah,
Um,
she freaking called it.
And then she's like, what I should really do is strip him of the championship and give it to somebody really deserving. The COO, my husband, the King of Kings, Triple H. And then
Oh,
that
but
again
don't
gets.
forget, she also threw out Batista before she brought up Triple H.
Oh, that's right. And he got loud boos, though. I don't even think he got no's. He just got booed out of the
Yeah,
building. It's like, you're not worth us actually saying no. We're just going to exclaim negatively about it.
it's like the lazy version of no.
Exactly, like he's not even worth the effort to jeer at with some emotion.
Creativity.
Some creativity, that's right. And yeah, then she throws Triple H's name out there, and then she says, "But I'm not gonna do that because I know Daniel Bryan, if he really is a man, he will do the right thing, and next week he will be on Raw to personally surrender the WWE World Heavyweight Championship because that's what's best for business." Oh, man.
And immediately my mind goes, oh, okay, so he's keeping the title. Because he's not going to surrender it, and the only possible way that they're going to get him to give it up is if Kane beats it out of him.
Yeah, I was really hoping, dude, that we would have a resolved issue, regarding the championship, so that you and I could really talk it to death here on Twitwell. But the ambiguity continues, the question mark continues to be raised,
Come
because
on,
now we go into
man.
next week.
You know the McMahon's better than this. You're talking about the daughter of the master of the announcement of an announcement.
Yeah, really. But we'll see. I mean, I agree with you. In character, there's no way Bryan is going to surrender that WWE World Heavyweight Championship. We don't know if there's going to be an impassioned plea from Bree, maybe that he should do it and just focus on his health. We don't know, again, if Kane is going to really beat him down. We don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, the journey continues into next week. And again, I'm fully invested for sure.
And you know what, dude? If they could pull off the slow burn with Bryan winning the title, I think they can make the burn slow enough of him losing the title that by the time they're actually able to take it off of him, he's back ready to compete, and they can't take it off of him because he's going to be able to actually have a match.
Right, right. I mean, I was talking with our friends on Pweetov, today, and I said it just really sucks that this had to happen, because you figure there are probably going to be some major storylines, surrounding Bryan in the championship. Mainly Lesnar consistently comes to my mind, and this year's SummerSlam. I
Yeah.
don't think that match is in jeopardy, but my question is, how do we get there now compared to how we would have gotten there before? So we'll see what happens.
One option that I'm thinking of is they try to get Bryan to give up the title this coming week, and he doesn't. And it ends up leading to a payback segment where they finally strip the title of him, and then they make Money in the Bank for the title. But they only have like X amount of people. They'll pull it off like they did last year, where you don't know who the last participant is, and then at Money in the Bank, Bryan shows up as the last participant and wins his own title back.
That I really like that idea. I'm kind of curious how WWE is going to want to handle Bryan, and mainly how Bryan is going to want to handle himself, because coming back with a match stipulation like that, because it would be like a Money in the Bank style match, just a ladder match with the title. I don't know if they'd want him in such an extreme stipulation so soon after returning from surgery.
That is true, because now that I think about it, from what I've read, it's like a 2 to 3 month expected recovery time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that. Wait, what were you saying, Ashton?
I was just gonna say that Money in the Bank is only in like 6 weeks.
Right, right, and see me, like, when I read 2 to 3 months, I'm even like concerned that he won't make SummerSlam. I believe he will, but
He
you
will.
never know with these things,
I mean, think about it this way: Thursday was the 15th, right?
Right.
3 months after that is August 15th. I believe SummerSlam is August 17th, so he'll make it.
Yeah, I mean, just by the skin of his teeth. But I think just what makes me so worried about Bryan going forward in WWE storylines, involving him, the neck is a very precarious thing, and I'm just very curious how WWE is going to handle, like, everything, because I think a lot of stuff, and I'm certainly not blaming Bryan. I mean, it's the nature of the craft, and especially the nature of his style of offense, but
Right.
him being out, I think puts a lot of things in jeopardy.
Well, and really, you've got to look at the fact that the surgery was successful. I mean,
Absolutely.
when you're talking about a successful surgery, chances are he's going to be good to go. And as long as something doesn't come up that slows down his recovery, I honestly think he'll be ready by 2 months rather than 3. So I could even see him being ready to go by Battleground.
Oh yeah, I mean he just strikes me as the type of guy that goes hard in everything that he does, and that would include his rehabilitation.
Right.
I could see him being the guy that beats the timetable. And if WWE, if they treat Bryan any way that they treat Cena, they give that original number, but maybe in the back of their minds they know something we don't. I don't know. So we'll just we'll leave it in Bryan's hands, and I think those are very capable hands for sure.
Well, that's the thing though, dude. When I hear 2 to 3 months, I'm not hearing that from the WWE. The WWE says
Right.
indefinitely. I'm hearing 2 to 3 months because somebody on Reddit actually looked up, because they mentioned, I guess, at one point the WWE, either on the website or the Twitter or something like that, what Bryan's condition was. And somebody on Reddit looked up the condition and the surgery and the estimated amount of time that you have to take in order to heal from that surgery afterwards. And I think it was like 4 weeks for light work and then 2 to 3 months for heavy work. So Bryan obviously falls into the heavy work category. So yeah, it would definitely have to be And it's not like the WWE's putting that number out there for people to overestimate like they did with Cena.
Yeah, very
Although they
true.
kind of are, because they say indefinitely, and that could imply, holy crap, he's going to be out for 6 months. But they aren't actually attaching a number to it. They're just saying he's going to be out.
Right, exactly. That's a excellent point. So hope Daniel Bryan comes back as soon as possible. And yeah, this is a great segment by Stephanie.